1 Nephi chapter 4. Nephi slays Laban, and the Lord commands, and then secures the plates of brass. By stratagem, Zoram chooses to join Lehi's family in the wilderness. And it came to pass that I spake unto my brethren, saying, Let us go up again unto Jerusalem, and let us be faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. For behold, he is mightier than all the earth. Then why not mightier than Laban, and his 50, yea, even his tens of thousands? Therefore let us go up, let us be strong like unto Moses. For he truly spake into the waters of the Red Sea, and they divided hither and thither. And our fathers came through out of captivity on dry ground, and the armies of Pharaoh did follow, and were drowned in the waters of the Red Sea. Now behold, ye know that this is true, and ye also know that an angel hath spoken it unto you. Wherefore can ye doubt? Let us go up. The Lord is able to deliver us, even as our fathers, and to destroy Laban, even as the Egyptians. Now when I had spoken these words, they were yet wroth, and did still continue to murmur. Nevertheless, they did follow me up until we came without the walls of Jerusalem. And it was by night, and I caused that they should hide themselves without the walls. And after they had hid themselves, I, Nephi, crept into the city, and went forth towards the house of Laban. And I was led by the Spirit, not knowing beforehand the things which I should do. Nevertheless, I went forth, and as I came near unto the house of Laban, I beheld a man, and he had fallen to the earth before me, and he was drunken with wine. And when it came to pass, when I came to him, I found that it was Laban. And I beheld his sword, and I drew it forth from the sheath thereof. And the hilt thereof was of pure gold, and the workmanship thereof was exceedingly fine. And I saw that the blade thereof was of the most precious steel. And it came to pass that I was constrained by the Spirit, that I should kill Laban. But I said in my heart, Never at any time have I shed the blood of man. And I shrunk, and would that I might not slay him. And the Spirit said unto me again, Behold, the Lord hath delivered him into thy hands. Yea, and I also knew that he had sought to take away mine own life. Yea, and he would not hearken to the commandments of the Lord. And he also had taken away our property. And it came to pass that the Spirit said unto me again, Slay him, for the Lord hath delivered him into thy hands. Behold, the Lord slayeth the wicked to bring forth the righteous purposes. It is better that one man should perish than a nation should dwindle and perish in unbelief. And now when I, Nephi, had heard these words, I remembered the words of the Lord which he spake unto me in the wilderness, saying, That inasmuch as thy seed shall keep my commandments, they shall prosper in the land of promise. Yea, and I also thought that they could not keep the commandments of the Lord according to the law of Moses, save they should have the law. And I also knew that the law was graven upon the plates of brass. And again I knew that the Lord had delivered Laban into my hands for this cause, that I might obtain the record according to his commandments. Therefore I did obey the voice of the Spirit, and took Laban by the hair of the head, and I smote off his head with his own sword. And after I had smitten off his head with his own sword, I took the garments of Laban, and put them upon mine own body, yea, even every whit, and I did gird on his armor about my loins. And after I had done this, I went forth unto the treasury of Laban. And as I went forth towards the treasury of Laban, behold, I saw the servant of Laban, who had the keys of the treasury. And I commanded him in the voice of Laban that he should go with me into the treasury. And he supposed me to be his master Laban, for he beheld the garments and also the sword girded about my loins. And he spake unto me concerning the elders of the Jews, he knowing that his master Laban had been out by night among them. And I spake unto him as if it had been Laban. And I also spake unto him that I should carry the engravings which were upon the plates of brass to my elder brethren, who were without the walls. And I also bade him that he should follow me. And he, supposing that I spake of the brethren of the church, and that I was truly that Laban whom I had slain. Wherefore he did follow me, and he spake unto me many times concerning the elders of the Jews, as I went forth unto my brethren, who were without the walls. And it came to pass that when Laban saw me, he was exceedingly frightened, and also Lemuel and Sam, and they fled from before my presence, for they supposed it was Laban, and that he had slain me, and had sought to take away their life also. And it came to pass that I called after them, and they did hear me, wherefore they did cease to flee from my presence. And it came to pass that when the servant of Laban beheld my brethren, he began to tremble, and was about to flee from before me, and returned to the city of Jerusalem. And now I, Nephi, being a man large in stature, and also having received much strength of the Lord, therefore I did seize upon the servant of Laban, and held him that he should not flee. And it came to pass that I spake with him, that if he would hearken unto my words, and the Lord liveth, and as I live, even so, that if he would hearken unto our words, we would spare his life. And I spake unto him, even with an oath, that he need not fear that he should be a free man, like unto us, if he would go down in the wilderness with us. And I also spake unto him, saying, Surely the Lord hath commanded us to do this thing, and shall we not be diligent and keep the commandments of the Lord? Therefore, if thou wilt go down into the wilderness to my father, thou shalt have place with us. And it came to pass that Zoram did take courage at the words which I spake. Now Zoram was the name of the servant, and he promised that he would go down into the wilderness unto our father, yea, and he also made an oath unto us, that he would tarry with us from that time forth. Now we were desirous that he should tarry with us for this cause, that the Jews might not know concerning our flight into the wilderness, lest they should pressure us and destroy us. And it came to pass that when Zoram had made an oath unto us, our fears did cease concerning him. And it came to pass that we took the plates of brass and the servants of Laban, and departed into the wilderness, and journeyed unto the tent of our father. There's a lot there. It's kind of a longer chapter. Let's talk about what happens. So we read in chapter 3 that Nephi was commanded of the Lord to go. Nephi and his brothers were commanded to go get the plates of brass, which we talked about were the ancient records. They were the information found in the Bible. And they talked about how they needed these plates so that they could have a written language, so that when they later go into on their journey to the new land, they would have something that they could relate to, that they could fall back on, have that written language, and be able to preserve that language. Talks about at the beginning of this chapter some of the information that's found in the Bible. Talks about how Moses, he was commanded to do a hard thing. He was asked by the Lord to take take his people, the Israelites, and to escape. One of the miracles that Moses was able to do was part the Red Sea and escape the Egyptian who were trying to keep them captive. And how he was able to accomplish that. And if he was able to do that, then why wouldn't the Lord help them get these plates? Remember, Laman and Lemuel, they are murmuring, and they don't want to do this hard thing. They are not believing that this is going to be able to occur. They don't trust that Laban isn't going to try and kill them. And so they're like, how are we going to do this? It's not possible. Well, Nephi says, what about Moses? How were they going to escape the Egyptians? That wasn't possible. Miracles had to happen. Nephi has this plan that he's going to go in, and he will do what it takes to get these plates. Little does he know that he's going to be asked to do something that is really hard and really difficult, including having to kill Laban. Nephi's like, wait, we don't kill people, but the Lord's asking me to kill. Nephi's like, I don't think that you're supposed to do that. But the Spirit said, well, in order to have it so that you guys are able to get the plates, you have to go and you have to kill this guy. Because it's better that one man perish than the whole nation should dwindle in unbelief. And without the plates, Nephi's people would perish because they wouldn't have these records, and they needed these records. So Nephi goes and he kills Laban, and he dresses in Laban's clothes, and he finds the record keeper. And the record keeper, thinking that Nephi is Laban, takes him and gets him the plates, and they go outside. Well, when they get outside, Nephi's brothers are talking about, they're scared. They're like, whoa, Laban is coming after us. Well, it wasn't Laban, it was Nephi. Once they realize, they're like, well, what about this record keeper? What about him? And the record keeper is like, hey, I'll join you guys, after a lot of persuasion. Nephi had to really persuade to get him to come with them and to join with them in their journeys. What a difficult thing that had to have been. And we talk about how we're asked to do difficult things. We are asked to go to school. Some of us, we don't like school, but we're asked to do it. We're asked to follow what our parents say. Valerie and I, we lost 2 children. We didn't think we could make it through that. It was pretty hard. It's pretty challenging. Sister has Heather had recently had a baby, and that was really difficult. It was a difficult pregnancy, and it was difficult to have to be in the NICU for so long. Sarah says here, can you imagine how much faith it would take for Nephi to follow the Spirit and for the record keeper to trust them? Yeah. This whole experience that Nephi has, the Book of Mormon starts off with, has a lot of trials of faith, has a lot of, having to leave Jerusalem and being, Lehi was commanded to go talk to the people of Jerusalem and to ask them to repent. And then they go and Lehi's life is threatened, and so he has to go into the wilderness, which takes a lot of faith. And then they're asked to go back and to get the plates. And they try 2 different times, and it doesn't happen. And Laban threatens to take away their life. And then Nephi goes in and he's able to get this. And the record keeper comes out, and he knows that if he goes back in, he's kind of disappeared, and they might even think that he killed killed Laban. But there was a lot of faith in all this that has, and as we continue to read and as we see more stories, there will be more opportunities to learn that in life we have to have faith. So thanks for joining me. I know Sarah's on here. I'm not sure who else is on, but it's kind of a fun way to do this, to kind of read and explain afterwards. So love you guys.